Hey, Damien Calmette. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you today. This is 2020. Who would have thought that 2020 would be like it is? The question I have for you today is, have you chosen to grow through 2020 or to go through 2020? I've chosen to grow through 2020. Do you know, I often say that experiences are our lessons. It doesn't matter whether you like it or don't like it. It doesn't matter whether it's good or whether you judge it as bad. Every single experience is a lesson if we take it as that. And I'm so grateful for the lessons of 2020 that I have chosen to grow through. It's been quite a year. It's been a challenging year. It's been an interesting year for me, where I've had to reach down to my toenails to really see who I am, what I'm all about, what I believe in, what I don't believe in, what I let go. Do you know, we look at loss, and so many of you feel like you've lost so much, lost your job, lost loved ones, lost a pet, and believe me, I understand what loss is. I really do. And when I say this, I don't say it in a glib way, but I say it in a way, and perhaps you can't wrap your head around it right now, but we really never lose anything. It just ceases to be when either it no longer serves us or we no longer serve it, and it's called to a higher purpose than what we're even aware of. And I know that when it comes to people in our lives, and they're no longer in this body form as we know it, that there's a sense of grief. And when it comes to our pet, our loved ones, that there's a sense of grief, there's a sense of loss. But the truth is that when there is that loss, the loss is I have found, a beginning place, a creating place, a new place of change. Now, if you feel like you've lost your job, it's a new place to create a newness in you, a new dream in you. Do you know, I remember when I was homeless at one time, and I was in this motel, and I took a sponge and I was wiping up the mess on the counter, and the thought came to my mind, okay, take the sponge, and it looks nice and pretty still, and I put it under hot water, and I squeezed it. And what was really on the inside of the sponge is what came out. And some of us have felt like we were really squeezed to death in some respects during 2020. And have you seen that when we've been squeezed, such goodness that have come out of people? And of course, there's been such ugliness that have come out of people. And those are just awarenesses of where we're at and what we need to be able to grow through. Do you know, I don't know about you, but I've been at times judging people that are in food lines. Like, well, you know, if they only would get a job, if this, if that. And with so many people being in there, I don't think people are going to judge anymore, because once you've been somewhere, then you don't judge it because you know what the experience is. And you know that sometimes things happen that are out of your control, and you just simply have to go with the flow of what it is, and you make sure that your heart is in the right place. You make sure that your spirit is in the right place. So a couple lessons that I'm really glad that I learned this year, that a couple people have helped me learn, and that is, when people leave your life, don't run after them. Let them go. Let them go, because if you run after them, you're going to be in the same position, maybe the same mess that you were before with them. But let them go, and bless them and let them go. If it's a job, bless it and let it go. If it's a dream, bless it and let it go. You can pick a new dream, something that is more you. You know, as men, we get stuck in a pigeonhole of what we think we are supposed to be. And sometimes you have to give up who you think you're supposed to be so that you can really be the person that you were meant to be. Can I say that again? Sometimes you have to give up the person that you think you are to be the person that you were really meant to be. You know, so often when we grow up, we meet other people's expectations instead of our own expectations. One of the other lessons that I'm grateful for this time of year, and I'll get in trouble for saying this, is I'm so glad that the churches got shut down. Ouch, I can feel it now. I can feel the resistance. Because, you see, the religious institution has become a form of religious theater. Now, there are certain segments that haven't, but overall it's become religious theater. It's become politicized. And the religious faith community was meant to feed the hungry, bind up the brokenhearted, to heal the sick emotionally, to give to the widows, to give to the orphans. It wasn't meant to spend $500,000 on a private plane. It wasn't meant to be able to live in opulence. And I'm not against making a good living, but it was meant to be an extension of the godness in our life. Now, I want to give a shout out today to the Dream Center in LA. The Dream Center's pastor is Matthew Barnett. Now, many years ago when I was a young evangelist, probably before Matthew was even born, I did healing crusades all over America. And his grandfather's church in Kansas City, Herschel Barnett, I was with them for 6 or 7 weeks at a time. And Matthew Barnett's Dream Center, which encompasses the old City of Angels Hospital and the Angelus Temple, they feed the hungry. Look on my on my page. You'll see where they're constantly taking people. The last one I saw took a mother with two children. She had nowhere to go. They didn't know what was going to happen with her. They were able to find apartment and housing for her. They're able to reach to people in the Skid Row and help them. You know, another shout out that I want to give is to UCC MCC, Reverend Pat Langlois. It's that small church in North Hollywood, right? Tiny, tiny church. They pack lunches and take to the park to the homeless. They are always reaching out to people and meeting needs. Resurrection Beach, MCC, in Costa Mesa. They're reaching out into the community. They're finding a need and healing it. And that is what the church is supposed to be. That is what Christianity is supposed to be. Not politicized into some kind of organized political movement. So I'm grateful and thankful that the churches have been shut down to where they could reevaluate what they were all about. I'm thankful for the time that I've had to go inside and finish writing my book. And yes, it's done. There's some little tweaks that need to go with it. I'm thankful for some of you that have believed in me, that I was a good writer, am a good writer. I'm thankful for you that have listened to me all year long on my Sunday morning live until I decided not to do it anymore for a while. You know, that Sunday morning live show touched about 100,000 people each week all across the country. And during the summer, as in the pandemic, I decided it was time to leave that at the moment. And in the fall this next year, I'm going to be starting another talk, and it's going to be called Conversations with Damien. We're going to talk about things that you're interested in. We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about drugs. We're going to talk about what it is how can you reconcile with God and your sexuality. I have a lot of you who write me on that all the time. Talk about how to find joy. Talk about how to be happy in the moment. And so on this Thanksgiving, while I'm rambling a little bit, remember I always close by always saying this, and this is the absolute truth. Kindness is the language that the deaf can hear. Kindness is the language that the blind can see. So on this Thanksgiving Day, even with various differences and thoughts that we all have, can you be kind to yourself and be kind to others? So today I want to say to you, may you have a happy Thanksgiving. And I'm thankful for you. I really am, even though some of you I've never met. I'm thankful for how you've supported me in your comments. And because of you, I've become a better person. Happy Thanksgiving to you.